Hi friends, today we are going to learn about one-point linear perspective with Mrs. McNeil. So today you're going to need a piece of paper, a pencil, and a ruler or a straight edge of some kind. Also something to color with once you're done. You can use watercolors or you can use markers, crayons, colored pencils, whatever you want. Have you ever noticed that things get smaller the further away they are from you? Walking in the woods, you see paths winding through the trees. Trees are getting smaller and smaller as they go off into the distance. Objects that are closer to you appear larger. Objects that are further away from you seem smaller. So as artists, how can we make our art look more realistic? Well, artists have been using math in order to make their art look more realistic since the Renaissance. They used something called one-point perspective in order to make their art look more real. So one-point linear perspective is where you have one point in your picture where all lines seem to gravitate towards. It will make all of your objects seem more three-dimensional and more realistic. You can tell in these pictures, all of the lines seem to be gravitating towards that one point located in the background. So this point that is located in the background is called a vantage point. These are where all of your lines are going to go. So you notice the line on the path here, this line, these are called convergence lines. So even the top of your trees to the bottom of your trees are confined within these spaces. You can pause this video at any time if you'd like to follow these step-by-steps, but I'm also going to be going through a drawing and doing this step-by-step with you. Here are some examples of what your art could potentially look like. These are all one-point perspective drawings. This one was done with marker. There's our one-point vantage point. Notice that the vantage point is also located on the horizon line. The horizon line is going to be the line that divides your sky from the ground. Notice all objects are leading towards that vantage point. Here are some project examples. Again, you can pause this at any time to look at any of these examples more closely. I like the details in the trees on this one. Alright, let's get started. Alright friends, so this is going to be a one-point perspective drawing. So I'm going to go ahead and write that up at the top here. It's called one point linear. That just means a line. One point linear perspective. And it's kind of like drawing in 3D and making your art look a little bit more realistic using some math. So you're going to just need a piece of paper, a pencil, and a ruler or just a straight edge. If you don't have a ruler, a folder or another piece of paper will work just fine. And we're going to start by drawing our horizon line, which is going to be the line that divides the sky from the ground. I'm going to do that about a quarter from the top of my paper. And it's just going to be a straight line going across the top. This is called the horizon line. Again, that's where the ground, so this is the ground, is going to meet the sky. Okay. Your vantage point is going to be located on this line. So you're going to choose probably in the middle, or it can even be off to the side slightly. I'm going to make a little dot on the line, and that is called a vantage point. This is the one point linear perspective. This is that point. This is the one point for your perspective. All right, we're going to start with a road, or you can even do a river or a sidewalk, a path. And what it's going to do is it's going to start in our foreground here, and it's going to work its way to the background, which is going to be towards our vantage point. So I'm going to place my pencil on that vantage point, line up my ruler with that point, and tilt my ruler so it's about at a diagonal angle, like so. Then gently drag your pencil to make a straight edge, going from the vantage point down to touch the bottom of your paper. You're going to do the same thing on the other side, placing your pencil back on the vantage point. Place your ruler like here, and you're going to drag it to touch the bottom. So this is going to be our road, our path. It doesn't have to be a straight edge. You can have it be curvy if it's water, or it can even be winding if it's a path, but it needs to end up at this vantage point, okay? Since I'm making a road, I am going to make a dotted line that goes to my vantage point. I'm going to make it about an inch, and then it's going to get, hello, Juniper. My cat always knows when I'm doing a demo, right? Go on. So then my dots get smaller and smaller the further away they go. I'm going to get this water out of the way. It's like she knows. How does she know I'm doing a demo? Cats. Cutie. Okay, so you can see it's already starting to look. You're ruining everything. She's ruining everything. I love you. Now go away. Okay, sorry everybody. Okay, now we're gonna start to create some objects in our picture that look like they're going back into space. I'm gonna start by making some trees on the side of my road, and I'm gonna start by just kind of drawing one tree kind of here. It's gonna be very simple. Here's my tree trunk. Okay, and then maybe I have some branches. This is called a Y tree. It's like a Y shape. And then just kind of a classic, easy bush on top, just kind of show it's a tree. Alright, placing my ruler on the top of my tree, I'm going to line up my ruler now with my vantage point. And I'm going to draw a very light line, because I will erase that line a little bit later. And what that's going to show you is where your trees need to fit to show that they're going back into space. I'm going to draw another tree right here. And so this tree needs to fit within this space right here. So as I get to the top, squeeze it in there so it fits in the space. Same thing if there's another tree. You're going to notice they're starting to get smaller and smaller as they get back towards that vantage point. Once you're done with that, you can go in and erase these lines. That was kind of a helpful line to show you where your trees needed to fit in, to make them look like they're going back into space. Alright, now here's the fun part. We're going to make a building over here. It can be a house, a barn, a school, whatever you want. We're going to start by making it really simple here. I'm going to start with just a basic square, and then a triangle on top. Classic house, right? Easy peasy. How do we turn this house 3D? Well, we are going to extend the walls heading towards our vantage point. So lining up your ruler with the corner of your house, then your ruler needs to touch the vantage point. And we're going to draw another very light line with our pencil, because we will erase some of these lines later. And that line is heading towards my vantage point. I'm going to line up my ruler again with the top of my house. This is the bottom of my house. This is the top of my house, where my house meets the roof. The ruler needs to meet the vantage point. Whoops, it got a little bit off there. There we go. A light pencil mark. Going on the top here, I'm going to line up my ruler with the top. Whoop. There we go. Okay. Alright, so it should look kind of like a house that's like super long and is like going off into the distance. I don't think houses are typically that long, right? None that I've seen. So we need to figure out, how long do you want your house? Is it a barn? Is it just a cute house? Is it another house? It's up to you. I'm going to end mine about here, and I'm going to make a few lines to end my house. And this is the biggest mistake that I see when I see someone finishing their lines. Think of this as a wall. A wall goes straight up and down. These two lines are parallel to each other, so they will never intersect. If they go off into outer space, they will never intersect each other. So this line's going straight up and down, this is straight up and down. Guess what? The back of your house also needs to be vertical, straight up and down. A lot of kids will draw the back of their house like that because they're thinking, oh, this is the side of my house, this is my road. But you can tell if it looks wrong, it usually is wrong. So that's not how your line goes. Definitely use your ruler or your straight edge. So this line is going straight up and down. Just scooch that ruler over. Do you see how my ruler is still going straight up and down? And then, boom, that is the back of your building. Not this way, straight up and down. So this line, and this line are parallel to each other. So if they were to go up into outer space forever and ever 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 and ever, up into outer space, they will never intersect each other. They are all parallel. Okay. Didn't think you were getting a math lesson today, did you? So now so this is the top of my house, where the roof is going to meet my wall. So this is the top of my roof, and I need to make the back line of my roof. So just like this line here is at a diagonal, the back of my roof is going to do the same thing. Diagonal. I like to line up my ruler, and then I scooch, 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 and then boom, diagonal. Look at that. You have a perfectly one-point perspective house. After that, you're going to go in and erase these lines, going back into space, like so. Cool. All right. After that, you add your details to your house. You can have, maybe you have a little stone path that goes to your front door. Maybe you want a fence that goes all the way around. Remember, fence posts would also be vertical, right? This is my fence. Notice that my lines are straight up and down. And then you can even connect them. This is a very quick fence. There we go. Cute. Makes it feel 3D already. Your house, or your door rather, a lot of kids will put their doors like this, and you can tell, oh, that looks a little wonky. So just like the wall, and if you look actually at a door is going to be also, the side of your door is parallel with the wall. So a wall goes straight up and down. Same with your doorway. Doorway will also be straight up and down. Doorway will also be straight up and down. This is going to my vantage point. The top of my door will also lead to my vantage point. Do the same process with windows as well. I'll do a double door for this one. You can add shingles. Maybe you have a nice little chimney. Oh, the chimney. I did a mistake. I was going this way. Your chimney would also be straight up and down, right? So think about if I were standing on, this is the ground, and I'm a person, I would be up and down, vertical. Do the same thing with all your objects or things that you add. Okay. So you can have fun and kind of add details to your house, make it unique, make it special. I want to show you how to make one more building, and then it's kind of up to you how you want to color and decorate and finish your work of art. So I'm going to make another building. This one is going to be, this is my little farmhouse next to a skyscraper. So notice that this building is actually going above the vantage point. Since you're not Superman or Wonder Woman, sorry, you cannot look through buildings. At least not yet. Unless you're not telling me something, anyone can see through buildings, let me know. Okay, so here's a building. I erased the vantage point, and I want to make this building or this skyscraper also into a perspective drawing. I'm going to do the same process, taking this line and then placing my pencil on the dot, my vantage point, that goes there. Up, going up here, look, now my line is above the vantage point. And notice I'm just going to the corners. All right, so this is going to be where my building is going to go. Here's a wall. Here will be the end of my building. Again, straight up and down. This is kind of the tricky part here. Can't see through buildings, right? No, no, no. All right, this one, you would not actually be able to see the top of this building, to be honest. This one, though, you probably would be able to see this. So I'm just kind of creating the end of this part. Same with here. This would lead to your vantage point, and this would be straight up and down. I'm just going to make a point. Okay, that's kind of like the top of my building. Looks a little odd. That's okay. This part would probably be more in the middle, but if I could. It's my pencil. There you are. Notice how, like, if you notice things looking weird, you can always go back in and fix it. What I love about having an eraser, right? Okay, so I thought that looked a little strange, so I'm going to take my vantage point, and then that is going to be the top part. Aha! That seems a little bit better to me. I don't know if you can see that, okay. And then the tip of mine would actually be more here for my building. Aha. Ooh, that looks better. Okay. Windows. Make some windows. I like to make windows this way. I line it up with my vantage point, and I kind of make a line here. Line. 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 Okay, another one here. Line. And then your windows would actually, the side of them would also be straight up and down. 1, 2, boop. Getting one more here. So you can see that the bottom of my windows, the bottom line is leading to the vantage point. This bottom line leads to the vantage point. This bottom line leads to the vantage point. Sorry, my paper's a little crooked. This line leads to the vantage point. This line does, and this line does. So all the windows should be a kind of different shape. And again, it's one of those things where, like, if you look at it, just take a pause and look at it, and like, oh, it doesn't look right, then usually something is off. These could probably be more aligned. My door to the entryway to this building is going to be on this side. I can create more, I don't know, more windows if I want. Straight up and down, straight up and down. Well, that's the basics, friends, of how to get a basic one-point linear perspective drawing. If you want to do a house or anything on the other side, it's the same process. Starting with your house, you're just going to do it. We did it on this side, and now we're on the other side of the street. Boop. And once you start getting a little bit better, you don't have to actually draw the full line. Okay, so there was a house on the other side. Alright, after that you can paint it, you can color it, whatever you want. I'm going to create kind of some mountains, because we do live in beautiful Colorado. Maybe some clouds. And looks beautiful. Love it. Alright, friends, have fun creating. I hope that worked for you.